I thought it'd be really neat for them to kind of say both what they do on a reach and on the run, and maybe kind of highlighting those differences, how you handle it. But getting through those reaches and keeping that spinnaker going and planing, pretty important. So why don't we start with Ryan and pass it down?
Yeah, so Nationals is a little unique because we get reaches and runs, which is great. But on the reaches, Craig and I are kind of focused on keeping the boat, on step, trying to get it to go as fast as it can. Today, we kind of recognized that there was a time where you could plane and we could pop it up and really get the boat going. We took advantage of that, and we made good gains on one of the reaches by doing that. What comes up must come down. So we did have to work down to the leeward mark to be able to make it, but it was more important that we were planing for the time that we could, and then soak down in the puff to get down to the mark, and it worked for us. But while we were running, we were working the waves as much as we could, and Craig did a great job driving through the waves and keeping us on plane when we could. While we were going downwind, we were pumping as much as we could, one pump per wave, but you can pump the sheet in the guy and really get the boat going. But you don't want to get the boat going and then just stuff it into a wave. So as the driver needs to be aware of that and kind of know how to snake through and drive through the waves. So that's I think what worked best for us.
I play the vang.
So on our boat, obviously the reaches, you're not pumping. They're working the main, but we don't have the waves to ride as much. So, that small curl, keep that small curl going. But Chris has to tell me what he plans to do, if he's going up or down, so that there is communication all the time. Now, when you're going downwind, again, it's the pumping on the waves, and he will. We've got to work as a team. So he's calling stuff, and we're pumping, and we were going pretty fast on some of those waves today. So, and I have to have total confidence in what he's doing, because I'm constantly just staring at the curl of the chute. I don't, I get down to the leeward mark and I have no idea what's happened during the course of the leg. And it's a little bit of a problem because I never have an opportunity to look upwind for the next leg. So, but you do, as if you look away, it's going to collapse.
Mark, can I ask you one thing? Go ahead. You mentioned the curl on the left. Just real quick, talk about when you're looking at the chute, knowing that you got it right. Curl, pull, whatever, just basic.
Well, when I was sailing with Bruce, it was always, pull back, pull back, pull back. So we want to expose as much of the chute as possible to the wind. And then I'm, of course, looking up at the shoulder, and I'm not using large motions. I'm using, today it's larger motions because you would get some puffs and you'd get a big curl and you'd have to really work it. But, you can't let it collapse too much, but you just want to have a little bit of a curl. So you're always working it. You're not static ever, but you don't want big arm motions. You just want, a little bit of motion. So you're in the groove, just like working the main sheet or something. You're just kind of working it a little bit.
Hey Mark, with that though, I just talked to Sarah, and she's reminded me that they're playing the vang a lot with that main sheet too. So maybe quickly, if you can say what you're doing with the vang on those reaches.
So as the forwards, we both have the vang on those tight, crazy, super fast reaches because the skipper in the middle have their hands full with other stuff. So I always have the vang uncleated when I'm sitting on the rail on those reaches. And if we start to heel up too much, if it looks like the boom's starting to get pretty close to the water, or if we get really loaded up and we're kind of all over the place, I start to ease that a little bit. And as soon as we settle again, I pull that back in. So I'm playing the vang probably almost as much as the driver's playing the main sheet, because it's super, super important for keeping the boat nice and flat and under control instead of letting it get really loaded up and heeled up on those reaches. Something really simple that helped me when I was first getting into this was kind of look where the boom is off the water and just try and keep it at like a stable distance off the water. Don't let it get really close and then really far off. So just try and keep it kind of a similar distance off the water the whole way down the run. So you're If it's getting really close to the water, you're going to ease it out some so the boat flattens back out, and then when you're settled again, you can pull it back in and it'll stay off the water then. So really, really important for the forwards to have that vang, because the skipper in the middle can't get it in that situation, and if you get a really big puff and really load it up, that can really help keep you under control and flat rather than like kind of sitting on your side and having to dump the spinnaker too.
So what Sarah's saying she's doing with the vang is helping to keep the load off the rudder. And if you talk to this man about going fast in a Thistle or any other boat, the less load you put on the rudder, the faster you go. And on those reaches today and yesterday, the spinnaker trimmer is essentially helping steer the boat by keeping load off the rudder, which means keeping the boat from heeling. So when a big puff comes in, I'm letting the spinnaker sheet out as far as I possibly can. I'll even let it load. If the boat's still heeling to weather, I'll let it luff some to take the load off the rudder, because that's when the skipper can turn the boat down, get going down that wave. And by the way, we were pumping on the reaches. And that could be a communication thing. If you're not aware of that or doing it now, start talking about if the skipper's pulling it off, you got to ease the sheet as much as you can to get the load off the rudder, because then the boat will start to fly. And then what I would say when it gets more downwind, even today when there's a lot of pressure, as soon as I can, I'm getting the guy out of the cleat and I'm playing it, because when you get the shifts coming fast, or today the boat speed was changing a lot, so the wind angle was changing a lot. The guy's going way forward, it's coming way back, getting it. I mean, especially you're going down a wave, you might be on almost a beam reach going down the wave, and then once it starts going down the wave, Wayne will head way down. We actually had some today where the spinnaker basically had no pressure in it, and the guy was back as far as you can. So we're always working the guy back. And as many middle crews know this, if I look away from the spinnaker for a microsecond, guess what it does? And guess what I hear from my brother? Don't look away! So yeah, getting that guy and using the guy a lot. Even in light air, you can adjust the guy really quickly, much faster than the sheet a lot, and being just very aggressive. And then we also get to do this today. Boom!
Hey, thanks you guys. I think it is so incredible that they'll give their time and their expertise and share all they know. So you guys are great. And John wanted to remind us